In this piece, I want to talk about landlord's buildings cover. Now, it's a topic that should resonate with every single person that's watching this video. It's not the sexiest topic out there, but it's massively important. Get the insurance wrong, and when you're trying to claim on it and you found that you've been shortchanged, you've got a real cheap policy and it's poor quality, then you'll wish you paid attention and understood and educated yourself on what a real good quality, high value buildings insurance should look like. So today I just want to give you a few little tips and things to consider in this regard. So the first thing is to say, make sure you've got the right type of policy, because if you think a landlord's policy is a landlord's policy, no matter what type of investment property you've got, well, you're wrong. There are policies out there specifically for long-term letting. There's policies out there that are for HMOs. There's policies out there that are for holiday lets. So make sure that you've actually got the right landlord's insurance. Or if you've had the property as a long-term let and now you've repurposed it for serviced accommodation for holiday let use, for example, then you may not have thought about this, and your insurer is not any the wiser until there's a claim coming in, but your insurance needs updating. So please, first and foremost, make sure you've got the right policy for the right type of investment. The next thing, and it's something that's just never going to go away, this is the type of land that we're in now, where particularly due to global warming, we're getting these extremes of weather events. The UK is more likely to flooding. We see it in the news, not only in winter, we see it in August with flash floods, with problems with floodplains getting worse. And therefore, we're seeing more insurers now either excluding flood damage and flood claims from policies completely, or the excesses are getting pushed up into the multiples of thousands of pounds. So, have a look out for the sort of excesses that you're being offered here, because just because one insurer is saying you've got an excess of several £1,000s for flood damage doesn't mean that they're all doing the same. So shopping around or using a broker who has got a range of providers to go to see whether we can get that flood excess down, because that is one area where excesses are creeping up. Now, under insurance, look, we all want to save money. We all might be looking at our insurance policy with rose-tinted glasses. Oh, we're never going to claim. And so the amount that we want to cover ourselves might not be the amount that we need. Now, the best way to describe why this might come back to bite you on the bum is, let's say you've got a holiday let, and let's say you cover the contents, and the contents are actually worth in total £20,000. But on the policy, because it'll be cheaper, you put £10,000. And there comes a day when there's a claim that you want to make on your contents side of the policy. And let's say it's for £2,000. If the insurer at that point, because they're doing some due diligence, maybe they send an assessor out, maybe it becomes obvious that the value of your contents is actually £20,000, but you've insured it for £10,000. In other words, you've only got 50% cover. Now, you might think, well, my claim's for £2,000 and I've got £10,000 of cover. What's the problem? I should get paid out my £2,000. But insurers don't think like that. They go, hold on, you've been trying to get insurance on the cheap. You've only got 50% cover. So guess what I'm going to do? Yes, you've got a valid claim, but I'm not going to pay you out £2,000 because you've got 50% of the cover. I'm going to pay you out 50% of the claim. So please, under insurance is a real thing. As brokers, we see it quite often. And to get the right level of insurance, instead of putting 10,000 to 20,000, might be £1, a couple of pounds extra. And you think, oh, I'm saving money, or you don't even think of the implications. So, using a broker who understands the knock-on effects of trying to, just tweak these policies and save yourself a little bit more, then it's something, you really, really shouldn't be shortcutting. And the last area, and it's something I use, I have a portfolio policy that includes something called home emergency cover. So if you've not heard of this before, just make a note of this right now. Grab a pen and paper, write it down so that you can speak to your insurer or use it to speak to our insurance broker to talk about this particular aspect, because it's really, really valuable. What is it? Well, it covers emergencies such as gas issues, boiler issues, plumbing issues, lock issues on the doors, lost keys from your tenants. What other eventualities? Eventualities where your tenant has to move out of the property for a short period. So it's those emergencies where in the past you might have just rung up, a certain tradesperson and get them out there. So now you can have it added to your policy so that instead of ringing the Corgi gas engineer or the plumber or the electrician, and guess what, they don't work on a weekends or they don't work after 5, or you really struggle to get hold of them on an evening. Now you've got one phone call with your insurance company. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And they will then deal with getting the appropriate tradesperson out for that emergency. So it's a real peace of mind for me as a landlord to know that I've just got one call to make and all those different tradespeople are there for those different categories of emergency for my tenant. So if you want to explore that a little bit further, what does that add to my premium? Is it worth it? Then please just click on the link at the end of this. There'll be a link to our diary system. Speak to the team, speak to Yvonne, who's the expert in all matters insurance, and she'll talk you through. She'll give you more literature on home emergencies, tell you what it covers, and of course, what that means for a premium. And then you can take a view. You're armed with the information. You can then decide whether it is good value. But for me as a landlord now, I think it's been an absolute godsend knowing that I've got that extra safety net there across all my portfolios. So I hope that's been really useful to you. Give you some tips and tricks in areas that you might not think of looking into, particularly when you go online or go on the mortgage comparison sites and just going for the cheapest policy out there. Then that's great until you want to claim. And then you'll find yourself wanting. So I hope that's been of use. If you want to just chat to the team about anything at all, there, take a screenshot of this last slide of all the different ways to get in touch with us. Other than that, thank you so much for supporting The Mortgage Home, for watching our channel and the updates this year. And please, for next year, do go onto YouTube, do subscribe to our channel, and you'll get these updates coming through to you for hopefully months and years to come. Have a fabulous Christmas and a prosperous 2025.